Okay, second video of the day. This is the sister project to the GLwin project that I'm doing. This was supposed to be part of that project, but I've decided to split them out, so this is because this is going to be too complicated to have linked with the GLwin project. I think it's just going to make things, because I'm a beginner, it's just going to make it so difficult for me to work out how this all hangs together. So this is a project that basically produces a GUI which will work alongside, I hope, my GLWindows project, which basically produces a very small version, in fact a tiny version of GLFW type thing, so you can get a window open and have a GL context to it and everything. So this project, here we go, it starts the top it's only one file. I'm hoping it's going to be just a header only file. These are the shaders that I use to use on the little windows that I'm going to hopefully draw. I'm not going to explain all the code because some of it's pretty obvious. Some of it I don't understand. I've had some help from Copilot, so some of it I've used and not 100% certain. This is just setting up the background color of the window, the toolbar color on the top, and the little X button that I've got at the moment on the window. Context is, this is the it makes sure that the things that's been drawn in the window, where it's placed on screen. This is the size of the screen it's being placed in. This has got to be got from the GL window thing eventually. At the moment I've just set it, hard coded it in there. All sorts of straightforward stuff. Header bar, is it being dragged? The mouse positions. I've got a lot of work to do on the mouse part of it at the moment. Even though I've got the little cross drawn, I can't close the window yet. This is to do with the textures, the fonts. That's coming from this stb truetype.h file. Works quite well. It's apparently got a few little iffy bits in it. Then we come down. Where have I gone? Yeah, no, yep, right. This is all to do with compiling the shaders, very basic version of that, and then we come on to the shader program. This is like an init which sets it all up to get it going using the shader program. Yeah, that's all part of the shader program again. Delete the shaders. I can't remember what that does. I should have put a note on that, shouldn't I? Anyway, we'll bypass that bit. This is getting the font that we're using. I've tested it on other fonts as well. Basically, the font thing does is it takes the font and it makes into loads of little. Each letter becomes a little, because when I first started this I had it wrong, and all I got where the text was supposed to be was like a load of little white squares on the screen, which I presume were the letters that just weren't being displayed properly. This is all part and parcel of the text bit again. This is same. Most OpenGL, if you want to draw something on screen, you have to generate the textures and bind it all like you do with any OpenGL stuff. Then this is get the uniform thing from the shader, which is up the top. This is to do with drawing the text. Don't profess to know what half of this does. That's gets us the X and Y of where we're going to put it on the thing, colour of the text, and what the actual text is going to be. Again, this is part from the shader. Again, needs part to work with the shader. Same thing again with the OpenGL part of it. This was quite complicated, but this is where it actually draws the little tiny, well, like I say, when it was wrong, they looked like little squares, little rectangle, little squares. So I assume this is what's drawing the where the text is going to, like on the little square bits, the text is going to be drawn. I don't profess to know how this TrueType thing works. I have looked through it. There's thousands of lines of code, and I don't profess to know what it's got a couple of quite good examples on there to show you how to use it. Again, this is just for the positioning of it and everything. This is the start of my being able to get the inputs for it. This doesn't work properly yet, along with some of the stuff in here at the moment. So this is simply setting the sizes for the button on the top. Then we draw a rectangle, so X, Y, width, height, and the colours, and that's the main background of the window. That's the header of the window, like the toolbar part of the window. That's the button for where an icon hopefully will go eventually. And this is the little red close button on the end of the window. This is the setup I'm using for being able to drag the window by the toolbar, which we can do. This then draws the title bar text with the what we're going to call it. I think for some reason I've called it lighting editor or something. I think that's because I don't know why I called it that. It's just something to come to. This doesn't work. This is to start with the closing of the to click the little red button to close window. I've got to work on that. This then draws the text, which is just an X in the button. This doesn't really do a great deal. Again, I'm not 100% sure what some of these bits do. This is drawing they were necessary though. I'd have to add these to get it to work. Anyway, right, this is the setting up the rectangles that are used for drawing the buttons and the actual main window. Copilot come up with this formula. Usually this is done with numbers between 0 and 1, but it come up with this formula and it works perfectly alright. I've never seen this formula before, but that's because I'm a complete and utter beginner. So there's a lot of this I don't understand and don't know. And again, it's the same thing. You then have to do, as with any OpenGL thing, you have to get the verts and do the drawing for the position and that, add the shaders, draw the triangles, etc. And then we've got to render down. This does nothing at the moment. And in main, if you're using that TrueTypes, you must add in one of the CPP files, and there's only one CPP file in this project. You must add that definition or it will not work. Start the window, which is my version of GLwin. Very simple to set up at the moment and working. Make the current context current. Spit it out right. Get the frame buffer size. Load GLAD the same as you would in any other project. Has to be loaded. We have to enable these because otherwise the text drawing doesn't work. This just gets the version of GL we're using. That was in there originally just to test that the GL was working properly, and I haven't removed it. Set the GUI init width and height. Show lighting editor to true, because we need to set that to true for it to work. This is part of the mouse drawing bit which isn't working correctly yet. I've got to work on that. Set the new frame. Then really all we need to do is this to draw a little window, and believe it or not, it works. We get a little window that we can actually grab hold of and move. We can't close it yet, but we can move it. So for a complete beginner, C++, etc., I think that's quite an achievement. I like it, and it's like I say, this is part and parcel of the other project I'm working on, the GLwin project. Anyhow, the code will be on. It's on GitHub. It's already on GitHub. I'll put a link in the description. Thanks for watching if you did.